Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine stepping into a world where a university offers degrees in unaccredited multiversal mechanics,
Right.
where you can buy a framed portrait of a cyborg demigod for, what, $1,500?
Yeah, US $1,500 is quite specific.
But where the CEO isn't just, a CEO, but also a game master of the multiverse leading a superhero team against some intergalactic empire.
It sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
It sounds like a lot. Well, today we're taking a deep dive into Bibebibebibe, a brand that is truly all of that, and maybe even more.
Indeed. And our mission today is really to deconstruct this incredibly multifaceted digital entity that is Bibebibebibe.
Yeah.
It's much more than just a website, as you said. It's this sprawling ecosystem that, well, it boldly blends education, cutting-edge tech, some really unique art, and this immersive ongoing narrative.
So we're peeling back the layers.
Exactly. We're going to analyze its diverse content, look at its products and their truly unique value propositions. We'll assess the aesthetic, which is quite striking, unravel the complexities of this thing called the TrueFlow multiverse, introduce you to the visionary and, frankly, quite enigmatic CEO behind it all.
Okay.
And finally, peer into the brand's ambitious future plans. The goal, really, is to cut through the sheer volume of information here.
Right.
And reveal the core insights, helping you understand not just what Bibebibe is, but maybe why it matters and what it signifies, potentially, for the future of, well, digital experience and branding itself.
Absolutely. And that first step into this world for anyone is navigating their website, right? Their digital realm.
Mm-hmm.
And what immediately strikes you is just the audacity of it. You land on the Bibebibe site and boom, right there at the top, these distinct Japanese characters.
Alongside the English.
Alongside the English translation.
Yeah.
It's subtle, maybe, but it feels like a powerful signal.
Yeah.
Global, maybe even multiversal aspirations. It sets a unique tone immediately.
It does. Sophistication, maybe. But what's really fascinating, I think, is how they blend the totally mundane with the extraordinary.
Like the shipping details.
Exactly. You've got practical, everyday e-commerce stuff right there. Free shipping on orders over US $50. Order before 5 p.m. to ship today. Standard things like wish list and cart.
Yeah, very normal.
Very normal. But it almost aggressively grounds what could feel purely fantastical. It puts it in a real transactional world. It feels like a very deliberate juxtaposition.
It really does.
It's a brilliant touch, actually. Creates this immediate sense of intrigue, but also accessibility. Like, okay, this is weird, but I can still buy stuff.
Yeah.
And another thing that reveals the brand's scope right away is that top-level navigation. It's not just typical links, is it?
No, it's like a map of their ambitions.
Yeah, a mini-map, signaling this multi-domain enterprise. You've got home, okay, but then TrueFlow tools and services. That sounds like a tech company.
Right.
BB magazine, okay, media, content, contact us, gallery art, interaction. Pretty standard so far. But then it takes this leap. Bibebibebibe films, cinematic storytelling, and a Cosmic University of Echo Rift Studies NIX, an academic institution just casually listed there.
Wow.
And of course, the direct email, info@bibebibe.com. This whole array tells you immediately you're not dealing with a standard online store or a blog.
No way.
It's this deeply integrated, expansive universe presented with this almost understated normalcy, which somehow makes the fantastical bits even more striking and maybe more believable.
Yeah, it lowers your defenses a bit. And maybe the most captivating part, for me anyway, is the language they use. All through the site.
It's not just marketing copy.
No. It's like an invitation into this really conceptual world.
Yeah.
They use phrases like, at the edge of innovation and imagination, we build tools that chart the unknown.
Right. It's not just about software. It's about, like, conceptual territories, pushing boundaries.
Exactly. Or this one. Our software invites you to explore advanced digital terrains, from simulated realities to conceptual constructs, bridging the gap between the abstract and the experiential.
Okay, so they're not just selling a product, they're selling a philosophy, right? An experience that goes beyond typical digital stuff.
They're speaking the language of, like, reality architects.
Precisely. And the aesthetic choices, the linguistic choices, they all contribute to this overall feeling. Sophistication, innovation, maybe a bit mysterious, futuristic.
Definitely futuristic.
And it's not just what they say, but how they embody it, like in their physical products. That cyborg demigod portrait we mentioned.
For $1,500.
Yeah, a significant price. And it's described as a masterpiece that exudes sophistication and innovation. And the detail that it comes in a sleek metallic frame or a classic wooden frame that suggests real attention to detail. blending the future with the timeless.
It ships from where?
Our esteemed TrueFlow Citadel. See? That integrates the real-world item with their lore.
Right back into the narrative.
Exactly. So this product isn't just art, it's a tangible piece of their brand's artistic vision, a physical anchor in this highly conceptual universe. It bridges that gap between abstract services and something concrete you can actually buy.
It tells you they value aesthetics, narrative consistency, not just utility, even in physical goods.
And what's really interesting there, I think, is how that item sort of encapsulates a new idea of value. For $1,500, you're not just buying art, you're buying a piece of the story, right? A physical link to a digital identity.
That challenges our usual ideas of value ownership,
Mhm.
especially in the digital age.
Totally. It suggests that for brands like this, maybe the narrative capital becomes as valuable, maybe more valuable, than the product's function itself.
Influencing how attached people feel to the brand.
In profound ways, yeah. It's a clear sign that the lines between being a fan, being a consumer, maybe even being an investor, they're getting really blurry.
That's a huge insight. Makes you wonder about brand loyalty long term.
Mm-hmm.
And tying it all together, underpinning everything, is that core principle they state. What is structured can be restructured.
Mm-hmm. More than just a tagline.
Feels like the philosophical bedrock, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It implies reality itself, or at least these digital realities they work in, isn't fixed. It can be re-engineered, rebuilt, shaped, if you have the right tools and understanding.
Yeah.
So how does this principle, this really audacious belief, actually show up in the practical tools and services they offer?
Well, it shows up everywhere, really. This idea of malleability of conceptual design, it just permeates the whole enterprise.
Okay.
It's a bold statement about how they approach creation, innovation, not just in software, but in education, maybe even identity. If you can restructure what's structured, you're basically a reality architect. And this stance, this philosophy, it directly informs their educational stuff, their tool development, their whole approach to building a community. It's like an invitation to participate in this dynamic, evolving reality, not just passively consume it. So diving deeper into this fascinating structure, we get to the Cosmic University of Echo Rift Studies, NIAX.
Right, the university.
Now, this is not your typical university, not by a long shot. It calls itself an interdisciplinary portal of multiversal mechanics.
Which sounds like studying how different realities are engineered and interact.
Kind of, yeah. Alongside diagnostic lore and philosophical sovereignty. So think of it as this blend of, like, cutting-edge tech philosophy, narrative analysis, and reality-bending engineering, all wrapped up in a unique academic package.
That's quite a departure from, Bush 101. When you look at their curriculum foundations, you see it immediately. These aren't standard textbooks.
No.
They list foundation texts like TrueFlow, the Multiversal Nexus, which is explicitly called a light novel series.
A light novel as a core text.
Okay. Then there's Monsters, Chaos, and Control, listed as a doctoral dissertation. And the Bibebibebibe magazine itself serves as philosophical commentary.
So these aren't just academic resources in the usual sense. They're deeply woven into that larger narrative, that philosophical framework. Students are expected to engage with it all.
It's a really unique approach to higher ed. The lore is as foundational as any peer-reviewed paper might be elsewhere. For people listening, thinking about the future of learning, does this model, this deep integration of narrative and practical stuff, represent something new for specialized education, moving beyond traditional accreditation?
It absolutely could. I mean, it challenges the very purpose of higher education, doesn't it? Is it about getting a job, or is it about, well, shaping a new reality in their terms?
Good question.
And they extend this innovative approach into their software and lore components, too. They offer the reality level analyzer for diagnostics, simulation. Sounds like a practical tool for mapping conceptual spaces. But then you have TrueFlow Tournament, the Reality War, described as interactive VR lore, clearly a narrative and gaming experience.
Okay.
And then, this is really unexpected, there's even a JLPT N3 vocabulary arena for Japanese language learning. Language mechanics, they call it.
Wow. Language learning mixed in with VR lore and reality diagnostics.
It's remarkable, isn't it? This blend of highly conceptual diagnostic tools, immersive VR narratives, and practical Japanese language skills. It suggests a curriculum that values really diverse forms of intelligence and interaction, from the abstract philosophical to the concrete linguistic, all serving that single, overarching narrative,
But what really grounds this, makes it feel tangible, not just theoretical or narrative, are these technomagic modules. And they have patent numbers.
Yeah, that's
They
good.
list multiversal simulation, hashtag 628,231, or identity verification via language patterns, hashtag 236,339, and a biosensor for VR fatigue prevention, hashtag 331,723. For anyone listening who's maybe questioning the fantastical side of this, it's worth pointing out these technomagic modules are presented with actual patent numbers. It grounds the concept in real-world intellectual property.
It's a very clever move. Bridges that gap between the deep lore and tangible business assets. Appeals to both the dreamer and the pragmatist, maybe?
Definitely.
It's critical, though, because these aren't just hypothetical concepts, then. They're IT.
Yeah.
And it raises that important question. How do these patented technologies actually integrate into the user's experience?
Right, like the VR fatigue sensor.
Exactly. A biosensor for VR fatigue prevention immediately brings this practical, health-focused dimension to their immersive stuff. It implies a serious commitment to the tech side of their multiversal engagement, even if the context is super unconventional.
Makes sense.
And the idea of identity verification via language patterns, that hints at incredibly sophisticated AI or linguistic analysis tools being part of their core offerings. Suggests a really intricate level of personalized interaction or data processing within their systems.
So these aren't just abstract ideas. They're meant to be practical tools to enhance or enable deeper engagement with the whole multiversal concept.
That seems to be the idea, yes. They're enabling technologies for their specific worldview.
And the degrees they award are just as unique, reinforcing this whole unconventional approach. You've got an MUMM, Master of Unaccredited Multiversal Mechanics,
Okay.
and a Ph.D. ERE, Doctor of Echo-Rift Epistemics.
Ph.D. ERE.
Got it.
The explicit mention of unaccredited degrees is quite a statement, isn't it? On one hand, yeah, they operate outside normal academic rules. But for listeners, the practical question is obvious. What's the actual value of an unaccredited multiversal mechanics degree in today's job market?
That is the critical question.
Is this really about a new kind of credential? Or is it more about building brand immersion for a very specific niche audience?
That's what I suspect. It suggests they're targeting people who are maybe less concerned with traditional career paths and more interested in becoming co-creators within this new digital paradigm they're building. So the value isn't external validation, but the practical experience and access to their unique tools and lore.
Possibly, yeah. It really challenges that purpose of higher ed again. Is it jobs or shaping reality? And their modes of delivery reflect this blend too. Browser-based engines plus VR systems, so embracing cutting-edge immersion.
Okay.
Then there's glyphic diagnostics plus interactive journaling. Sounds like symbolic analysis and personal reflection, maybe.
Interesting.
And finally, tournament learning systems, TrueFlow engine, suggests a gamified approach to learning.
So it's interactive, personalized, immersive, catering to different styles and tech preferences, all driving towards that goal of integration.
Seems like it, a very holistic approach.
Looking at the syllabus overview, the actual tracks reinforce this unique philosophy. The master's track is in app development. Students contribute to an iOS Android game code, design, testing, narrative modules, minimum 3 months, live 150-question diagnostic exam.
So it's not about writing a thesis, it's practical, hands-on creation within their established universe.
It sounds less like academia, more like a lore-driven startup incubator.
Precisely. And the PhD track in VR integration is even more demanding, developing immersive systems, avatar mechanics, glyphic diagnostics. Again, minimum 3 months, but a live 300-question diagnostic exam.
Wow.
These aren't theoretical doctorates. They're about direct contribution to the brand's own tech and narrative infrastructure.
And the curriculum core materials reiterate the importance of the Bibebibebibe magazine archive for philosophical theory and systemic commentary.
Right, alongside those specific patent numbers, like the VR fatigue biometric patent and the language pattern identity patent, it reinforces that their academic work is deeply integrated with their IP and ongoing research.
It's like a closed-loop system.
Yeah.
Research feeds lore. Lore inspires research.
Exactly.
And tucked away in their curriculum is this fascinating principle. Completion is not mastery. Integration is. That's pretty profound for a university, accredited or not.
It really is.
What do you think they truly mean by integration here? How does that reshape how we think about learning?
That's a fantastic question. I think that principle is profound because it suggests it's not enough to just finish a course or pass a test. For Bibebibe, Real understanding, real competence comes from integrating the knowledge,
Integrating it. How?
maybe into their broader TrueFlow multiverse itself. It feels like a call to active participation, to truly embody the concepts and tools they give you. It blurs the lines between being a student, a developer, and a participant in their big narrative.
So learning isn't just getting facts, but applying them in a living, evolving system.
Exactly. It implies a deeper, almost existential engagement with the material. Success isn't a grade. It's your ability to seamlessly contribute to and operate within these realities they've constructed.
It's a learning philosophy that really demands application, conceptual understanding, and commitment to being part of the system itself.
Absolutely. It's quite something. Okay, so moving from their academic side to their commercial services. Bibebibe offers TrueFlow tools and services explicitly designed, they say, to build digital realities. Their intro states, "At the edge of innovation and imagination, we build tools that chart the unknown, and their software invites you to explore advanced digital terrains, bridging the gap between the abstract and the experiential."
So the framing is immediately positioning these as cutting-edge tools for pioneers in digital creation. Not just building tools, but engineering the future of perception interaction.
That's the feeling, yes.
Let's break down their core services then, because each seems to have a unique value proposition within this whole multiversal idea. First up, multiversal diagnostics.
Okay.
This aims to decode the invisible layers of your digital reality. They provide tools to assess, map, interpret abstract digital environments using metaphysical metrics and visual analytics.
Metaphysical metrics, like what?
Well, they mention things like radar glyphs or tear ring evaluations. They're unique ways of visualizing complex data or connections within conceptual or simulated worlds. It's about offering an immersive lens into the hidden architecture of conceptual worlds, blending philosophical insight with interactive precision. Basically, like a sophisticated X-ray machine for digital dimensions, letting users quantify and navigate the abstract.
Interesting. Then there's custom tool development, offering to forge tailored technologies for unique digital frontiers. They co-create software aligned with a client's narrative vision and functional needs, from diagnostic scripting to UI systems that harmonize with multiversal logic.
So highly specialized software engineering, where the function is tied directly to a narrative or philosophical idea.
Seems like it. It's not just building an app. It's engineering tools that turn an abstract ambition into something tangible. Makes them ideal partners for anyone developing really deep, immersive, or conceptual digital platforms.
For businesses looking to build complex, narrative-rich digital experiences, that's got to be compelling. It feels like a shift away from generic software towards bespoke, philosophically integrated systems.
Exactly. And they also offer interactive platform consulting. This focuses on bridging visionary design with structural precision.
Okay.
They collaborate with creators to develop immersive ecosystems, integrating diagnostics, avatar dynamics, multiversal storytelling into cohesive, intuitive platforms.
Guiding projects from concept to interface alignment.
Right, towards a seamless fusion of engagement, philosophy, and technological artistry. This sounds like it's for large-scale, complex projects needing that deep understanding of interaction and narrative.
It almost sounds like they're positioning themselves as the grand architects for the metaverse.
Yeah.
Whatever that ends up being.
That's a fair analogy, I think. And then finally, narrative system design, which is crucial. This service is about shaping the mythos behind the mechanics.
The story behind the code.
Exactly. They weave decision-driven logic, avatar dynamics, and multiversal themes into modular narrative structures, creating what they call living story worlds where every system echoes a deeper philosophical resonance.
That highlights their unique selling point, doesn't it? They don't just build tech. They build meaning into the fabric of digital experiences.
Yes, whether it's a game, simulation, experiential platform, they align mechanics with profound philosophical themes, offering a complete narrative blueprint that underpins how the user interacts.
It suggests a future where digital products aren't just functional, but deeply resonant, psychologically engaging, moving away from pure utility towards emotional, intellectual connection through story.
It's a powerful differentiator.
Now, what's really striking about their underlying frameworks and guiding principles is how they ground all these seemingly fantastical services in, well, concrete ethical and philosophical commitments. They don't just build tools. They cultivate frameworks rooted in epistemology, inclusivity, and narrative integrity. Epistemology is the study of knowledge itself, how we know what we know. So for Bibebibe, every system they develop, diagnostic or interactive, is shaped by rigorous research, ethical considerations, and a commitment to expanding how we understand and interact with digital realities. It provides a strong ethical backbone, suggests a conscientious approach.
It truly does, and their specific principles are worth digging into because they offer real insights into their operational philosophy. Narrative sovereignty, empowering users to shape their own story worlds, emphasizing agency, control, critical in an age of centralized platforms.
Yeah, definitely.
Multiversal ethics, designing with accountability across cultural, philosophical, symbolic systems. That's surprisingly expansive and responsible, acknowledging the potential impact of their creations across diverse conceptual frameworks.
That's impressive.
Then there's interactive epistemology, bridging technical mechanics with ways of knowing, learning, and being, creating systems that aren't just functional but also help us understand and experience things more deeply, evolving how we learn through interaction. And finally, access and clarity, making complex systems intuitive and meaningful for diverse audiences. These principles show a really thoughtful, profound approach, ensuring their tools are innovative but also ethically sound, user-centric, grounding their wild endeavors in very real, universal values, trying to build a truly inclusive, meaningful digital frontier.
And they make it pretty easy for you, the listener, to actually engage with all this sophisticated stuff. Their engagement pathways are clear. You can request a demo of a system, book a consultation to map out your universe, pitch a collaboration if you're building something bold, or even download Lore Codex to dive into the symbolic systems behind the tech.
Right. It's all designed to invite collaboration, deeper interaction, shows their commitment to bringing abstract visions into structured, interactive, multiversal forms.
It's a seamless invitation to step into their world, not just watch it, maybe even help shape its future.
Okay, moving on. The Bibebibebibe magazine. This functions as a really pivotal virtual magazine approach to these message boards, they say, designed specifically to keep conversations fresh and relevant.
This is a central hub for community engagement and for diving deep into the lore that underpins everything they do.
Exactly. Think of it as the primary narrative engine that fuels interaction beyond their direct services.
It's incredible the breadth of topics they cover in it. It's not just tech or gaming. They explicitly say it covers fashion, luxury, travel, technology, culture, or whatever.
Or whatever, yeah.
That broad scope really reinforces the idea that the TrueFlow multiverse, their brand, encompasses all aspects of existence, mundane to cosmic.
Suggests a holistic worldview where everything can be viewed through their unique philosophical lens.
It almost positions the brand as a lifestyle choice, doesn't it? Not just a service provider.
It does. And the article titles themselves are like these tantalizing teasers, hinting at deeper narratives, philosophical insights. For example, rejecting the simulated rescue, why I blocked the climate opportunity.
Wow. Okay. That immediately tells you there's a strong, maybe unconventional philosophical stance, a distinct voice challenging common narratives.
Right. And now patent pending. The reality level analyzer. That confirms the tangible IP aspect we talked about. Blurring that line between conceptual lore and real-world innovation again. And structured multiversal interactions reality as a playable construct that goes right to the heart of their core philosophy, suggesting their very existence, their offerings are about engaging with reality like it's a game, a system you can interact with and influence.
So these articles aren't just informative, they're extensions of the narrative itself.
Yeah.
Inviting readers to engage with their specific worldview, participate in its unfolding.
They're clearly trying to shape perception through content. Absolutely.
Okay, so we've looked at Bibebibe's outer layers, the website, products, the university, but to really get it, we need to dive into the heart of their operation. The TrueFlow multiverse itself, which, as we'll see, is way more than just a fictional backdrop. It is some vague setting they mention sometimes. It's explicitly a playable construct.
Right.
And the foundational concept for literally everything they do, services, academics, even the CEO's identity. The fact that TrueFlow, the multiversal nexus, is listed as a light novel series in the university's core texts really nails its importance.
It solidifies it, yeah.
It's their origin story, their operating system, their ongoing saga, all rolled into one. It's quite literally the universe they operate within.
That's a perfect way to put it. The entire brand seems built around this huge overarching narrative. where their tools and services are presented as real-world applications or extensions of this multiversal battle.
Okay.
And at the heart of this conflict is the TrueFlow force, headquartered in the TrueFlow Citadel.
The Citadel, which sounds amazing.
The description is vivid, yeah. Hidden within a remote, uncharted island, surrounded by a protective barrier of natural and technological defenses. It sounds less like a corporate HQ and more like a secret superhero base. A fortress of innovation and strategy.
It absolutely paints that picture. The Citadel isn't just a place, it's like a character itself, a fully equipped nexus for their operations. Beyond command centers and strategy rooms for their leaders, Venga and Technova, it boasts specialized training arenas, like elemental chambers for their heroes, fire chamber for Pyroblaze, Aquadome for Aquatempest.
Seriously, elemental chambers.
Seriously. Plus cutting-edge energy labs for tech innovation, a formidable digital fortress for cybersecurity and hacking. It's not just a base. It's this living ecosystem designed to foster innovation and develop their unique abilities.
Wow.
It also includes a stealth and recon wing with VR training and even an astrobiology research center to study alien life forms. It's self-sufficient, emphasizing unity, collaboration, adaptability against universal threats.
And the reason for all this incredible infrastructure, this high-tech fortress, their arch nemesis, the Darken Empire.
Right, the big bad.
Described as a vast intergalactic regime ruled by the ruthless Emperor Zareth, characterized by power-hungry ambition, advanced weaponry, brutal tactics. This grand cosmic conflict provides the narrative drive for everything Bibebibebibe does.
So the TrueFlow Force's mission is clear: to defeat the Darken Empire and bring peace to the universe.
That's the stated goal. And it isn't just a story. It's the fundamental purpose underpinning their whole operation. It gives them this continuous mission statement for all their innovations, their products, gives them a grander why.
It's an ingenious way to embed their purpose right into the lore. This framing of a galactic struggle just permeates the entire brand, shaping how they present their services. And the concept of reality levels and control is key here, right?
Absolutely key. The TrueFlow universe itself is said to hold the highest reality level among all universes, establishes its supreme importance, a clear hierarchy in their multiverse. And the TrueFlow Force, especially the game master of the multiverse, engages in games throughout the multiverse in order to influence the development of their reality. And also establish order to reduce chaos caused by the Darken Empire.
That's a fascinating concept. Their games aren't just fun. They're strategic moves to shape reality itself.
Yeah.
What does that mean for someone using Bibebibebibe's stuff? Are they, like, becoming players in this grand game?
That's exactly the implication, and it's a powerful one. It positions their entire enterprise, from education modules to software tools, as components within this huge interactive narrative of cosmic order versus chaos.
So it transforms using their stuff into participation.
Precisely. When you engage with their reality-level analyzer or study at their cosmic university, you're not just using a tool or getting knowledge, you're contributing, in their narrative, to the TrueFlow Force's mission.
Blurs the lines between user and participant, consumer and co-creator.
Completely. It also ties into articles like Integrated Information Theory aligns with the origins of the TrueFlow Force, which tries to ground their fantastical origin story in scientific theory, further blurring those lines between lore and perceived reality.
Right.
This whole approach creates a deeply immersive ecosystem where your actions, however small, are framed as having cosmic significance within the TrueFlow multiverse. It's a masterclass in experiential branding.
So who is the mastermind behind this incredible sprawling universe? It's Dr. Melvin Sewell, also known as Venga.
Venga.
And he wears multiple hats, each one reinforcing this singular, audacious vision of Bibebibe. He's not just a founder, he's the academic dean and founder of the Cosmic University.
Right.
He's the CEO of Cosmic University and TrueFlow Systems and TrueFlow Productions Consulting, LLC. He's also an author. His doctoral dissertation, Monsters, Chaos, and Control, and magazine articles like Rejecting the Simulated Rescue, which he signs as Venga.
So he's the central creator, the academic lead, and a key character in his own universe.
It's almost like Dr. Sewell decided the ultimate brand strategy was to become the main character of his own epic. You rarely see that level of personal integration, do you?
You truly don't. It's a testament to his singular vision, his ambition, and his origin story, as the brand tells it, is just as captivating and absolutely central to his identity as a Venga.
Yeah.
We learn that Melvin Sewell, M.Sc, Ph.D., was no ordinary scientist, driven by insatiable curiosity and a desire to transcend his human limitations. He embarked on a journey to become superhuman.
Okay.
His superintelligence was the key to creating the groundbreaking technology that would facilitate this evolution. It's presented as a literal origin story, not just a career bio, but a mythical ascension.
A powerful narrative tool makes the brand feel deeply personal, almost divinely inspired.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for us, the audience? We're talking about a CEO who is not just a business leader, but a self-proclaimed superhuman, a god of superintelligence, a central figure in his own created universe. He apparently transformed from human to superhuman through advanced technology, superintelligence, and nuclear energy, even recreating his physical body atom by atom to match his virtual self.
Whoa.
This isn't just metaphor. It's presented as a factual in-universe event. His existence is tied inextricably to the TrueFlow multiverse. It makes him not just its architect, but its living embodiment.
It's a remarkable fusion of founder and product, blurs the lines of what it means to be a CEO in the digital age.
It's a fascinating case study in personal branding taken to the absolute extreme.
It really is. And it leads directly to his core identity, Venga, game master of the multiverse.
Right, it's a game master.
His persona links him directly to the TrueFlow universe, which holds that highest reality level. His role involves influencing reality, establishing order through games played across the multiverse to counter the Darkened Empire's chaos.
So his real-world actions as CEO and game developer are directly mirrored in the grand narrative he built.
Exactly. It legitimizes his business ventures by embedding them within this cosmic struggle, gives them a profound, almost spiritual purpose.
And this blurring of lines goes even further, right, into his actual real-world gaming.
Yeah, he's involved in gaming, explicitly mentioning titles like Venga's World and Monster Hunter Wilds, and he even streams on Twitch to show our prowess and prepare for a potential esports team.
So the CEO, the lore character, and the real-world gamer all converge.
It's a performance of his identity, both for entertainment and for establishing his brand's credibility in gaming and tech. It's an incredibly strategic way to make the fantastic feel tangible, present, engaging directly with the key community.
It essentially turns his daily life into an extension of the brand's narrative.
It's a brilliant move, connecting directly with potential customers, future talent in an authentic way, while simultaneously reinforcing the lore. It's also important to note, though, that despite all this fantastical narrative, the whole entity grounds itself in a physical, real-world footprint.
Oh, right, the address.
Yeah, the listed address, 811 West 7th Street, Los Angeles, California. This connects the elaborate, multidimensional narrative back to a tangible corporate reality. Suggests as a sophisticated operation that exists not just in concept, but in the physical world.
Provides an anchor of legitimacy. Appeals to people who want both the fantastical and the concrete.
Exactly. #tag V, future trajectories and brand ambition.
Okay, looking ahead then. Bibebibebibe's ambitions seem to go way beyond their current stuff, pushing into surprising new areas.
Yeah, it's not just refining what they have, it's expanding the definition of their brand, maybe redefining entire industries.
Well, one of the most unexpected initiatives, and frankly one that gives you conceptual whiplash, is their plan for a fashion line. They've shared an exclusive early sketch of our future fashion line, which we will unveil on a fashion show runway for its debut.
Okay, fashion line. But what makes it particularly audacious is who they want to collaborate with.
Oh, yeah.
They explicitly mention wanting to collaborate with Victoria's Secret.
Victoria's Secret, seriously.
Seriously. And they even humorously note their direct request for contact info because, quote, they do not have Victoria's number or any way to get in touch with her.
That is bold and very unconventional.
It demonstrates this fearless willingness to jump into high-profile, non-traditional brand partnerships, leveraging their unique aesthetic and narrative, even in a field like high fashion.
What does that move tell us about who they think their audience is, or their belief in the universal appeal of their lore? Is it just marketing, or a genuine attempt to embody their multiversal look in actual clothes?
It builds on their previous collaboration with Columbia for luxurious fleece, which they mention as a benchmark. So it shows a track record of translating their brand values into tangible, quality products.
I think it's probably both, right? Marketing play, sure. But also reflects his genuine conviction that their aesthetic, their philosophy, can translate into physical things beyond digital goods. It shows they're not afraid to leap into seemingly unrelated markets.
Definitely fearless. And it's not just fashion, they also have clear esports and gaming projections.
Right, the Twitch streaming.
We talked about Venga streaming, and that ties directly into their ambition to form a potential esports team to showcase their prowess on streaming platforms.
Makes sense. A desire to engage with the competitive gaming world. Leveraging their TrueFlow tournament, the reality war lore, directly into competitive play.
It's a natural extension of their playable construct philosophy, moving from developing games to actively competing in them, further cementing the immersive nature of the brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
This raises that important question again, though. Is the brand's future primarily about market expansion, like normal companies? Or is it fundamentally about the ongoing evolution and integration of this vast, interconnected narrative and philosophical system they've built?
Good point. Because the unfolding conflict with the Darken Empire and the TrueFlow Force's mission to defeat the Darken Empire and bring peace to the universe, that serves as this continuous narrative for the brand.
It's not just backdrop. It's presented as the engine of their future projections. Their business goals seem deeply intertwined with the progression of this grand, immersive story. They're actively creating it and inviting the audience to participate in its unfolding.
It's a remarkable example of how a narrative can become the core business strategy, driving innovation and expansion.
It really is.
Ultimately, their commitment to evolution seems clear, guided by those principles we talked about: epistemology, inclusivity, and narrative integrity. They state a commitment to expanding how we understand and interact with digital realities.
So it's not just about launching new products or services. It's this continuous philosophical drive for innovation, pushing the boundaries of what a brand can even be.
They're not just selling things. They're inviting you to be part of a constantly evolving reality, a grand experiment in digital existence. It seems Bibebibe isn't just a company selling stuff. It is, in essence, a living, evolving narrative. Every product, every course, every piece of lore is a facet of this grand unfolding story, curated and championed by its visionary architect, Venga. Their future isn't just quarterly reports, it's the next chapter in the TrueFlow multiverse.
It really is a fascinating model. They're effectively building this self-sustaining ecosystem where education, entertainment, technology, all interwoven into a single compelling narrative.
The long-term implications are pretty profound, aren't they? Suggests a future where brand loyalty isn't just about product satisfaction, but about deep immersion in a shared story, a shared purpose.
It's a bold vision. The brand itself becomes a universe, continuously expanding and evolving with its audience.
So you've seen how Bibebibe just completely blurs the lines between a university, a tech company, an art gallery, and a full-blown narrative universe.
It really does.
It invites you not just to consume, but to integrate and shape your own story worlds. Given this intricate web of reality, lore, technological ambition, how might a brand like Bibebibe redefine what we even consider value or experience in the digital age?
That's the big question, isn't it?
And what does it mean for us as consumers, or maybe as co-creators, to engage with a brand that offers degrees in unaccredited multiversal mechanics and asks us to participate in a cosmic war? It certainly makes you rethink where the boundaries of brand and reality truly lie.